What is up? This is J&J Boxing. We here. We represent the heavyweight championship of the world was today. And, man, a bunch of things was going down in sports. A bunch of things going down tomorrow in the NFL. But, man, we got to start the show off, man. Heavyweight championship of the world, man. Jordan, tell the folks, man, what would you think about the event itself? And you can talk about the undercard
It was
too.
it was a good fight. The undercard was amazing. You know, the Josh was great. The Molina fight was good. Molina lost, but
He got knocked out third round by Filip Hrvotic. What you think about him, man?
I think that was a good fight. I think
that was a statement win.
It was a statement win, but Molina was playing at a little bit of the hitting behind the head, which was a you can see it you can see it a little bit, but Molina was getting those body shots. Them body shots was Kabak was hitting with those body shots. Them shots was mean. But Povetkin did his thing to Wiley Vet, like I said last week. I told y'all
it was a draw. It was a draw. I thought it was a draw. What'd you think? Like, how did you score the fight?
I liked it. Povetkin was winning, but you know, I think the last 2 rounds, Michael Hunter was able to edge out them last 2 rounds that prior to made it to draw. He was able to get them last 2 rounds out, but Povetkin was doing his thing, man. Povetkin was able to close out them last 2 rounds. If he was able to pull that closing joints out, at least close them out, he was gonna take that to W. And then the main event, Joshua fought his fight. He fought a smart, calculated, and he fought a great fight. It was a good fight. Joshua did a great fight, man. I'm telling you, I'm gonna say it again. Joshua did a good fight. It was an excellent fight. Ruiz wanted to get in the middle of the ring because Ruiz wanted to slug it out. And, you know, if you looked at it, Ruiz was, every time they got into the middle of the ring and every time they was able to close the distance, Ruiz was actually tagging him. And Ruiz actually did tag him. I believe it was the 8th round. Ruiz tagged him with something. And he hit him right. He hit him with a nice solid uppercut, but Joshua was able to eat that joint. So Joshua's chin is solid, but you hit him on the side of his head, you can disorient him, man. You know, that's one of the things that they were probably working with at camp, was trying to get him ready for those hits, because he looked like he was doing the same thing. That's what happened last time. He put his hands up, and I saw that shit again, but, you know, he did a good job, man. He worked his jab, he used his distance, his reach, and he did his thing, man. Good fight.
It was impressive.
It was impressive. Hopefully we can get him versus Wilder, but he already know that let it go.
Because he got Eddie Hearns as his promoter.
Called out. He even said Usyk and all that stuff. You know.
Hey, and I did want to correct that though. Usyk is actually the WBO mandatory, and so it's going to be Joshua. It was the winner of Ruiz Joshua who's going to probably have to fight Usyk yet left next, or the IBF's mandatory is this dude named Kubrat Pulev. He's a European fighter from somewhere over there. And
you see what's going to happen.
He might have to. One of the
you know what's crazy.
And
you know, yes, I'm saying that's going to cause a little bit of division and it's going to cause a little bit of turmoil in the division, because if he is mandatory, if he is obligated and mandatory for the WBO and the IBF, he has to have to pick one, because he can't fight both of them at the same time. He's going to have to pick one, and I'm pretty sure he's going to pick the WBO.
So
everybody picks the WBO, so he's probably going to fight Usyk. But that shit would be crazy, man.
Who you think wins?
I think Joshua.
Joshua. Joshua.
I think Joshua.
Peace Usyk, guys.
I think Joshua.
It'd be an interesting fight, though.
Joshua wins.
I'd definitely be tuned in to watch that motherfucker.
It'll be another fight like this, but Joshua wins. I think Joshua is starting to box again. I think Joshua is.
The Ruiz fight was really a wake up call for him. You know what I'm saying? Getting knocked the fuck out in the 7th round. That shit was a wake up call. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, humbled.
Absolutely. And I think that's what we all wondered, was how would Joshua react to, you know, this situation and just the way it all ended. And like Wilder said, Wilder predicted Ruiz to win. I predicted Ruiz to win. I did not see Joshua coming out like this. And he did what the fuck he was supposed to do. Used his jab effectively. Used his reach advantage effectively. Joshua was superb. Ruiz had his moments. I think it was like in the 4th and the 8th rounds. But for the most part, Joshua neutralized those combinations, those punches and bunches. He was able to neutralize it, and it was amazing. I thought Joshua did a great job. I think he his team, they came up with a plan, got this shit together, said we're going to win this fight, and you're going to follow this strategy, this game plan. And you know what's funny? I heard people talking about that's the most boring fight I've seen since Floyd Mayweather was fighting, and what y'all motherfuckers out there, the people who say that, don't understand is that this is boxing, okay? The goal is to win the fight. That's the goal, right? What Herman Edwards say? You play to win the game. You box to win the fight. And so, if you see a certain strategy, you say, oh, the fans might want me to knock him the fuck out in the 8th round, or the fans might want this or that, or this is what people expect me to do. Whoa. That all sounds great, but what's the most effective strategy to get the victory? To use your reach advantage, to jab, to not try to do too much, or not try to put yourself in a compromise, put yourself in a bad position. That's what you shouldn't do. And so if you're going to just follow a strategy and use your jab, use your reach, and win these rounds, win round after round after round, I mean, hey, he got the job done. I was thoroughly impressed. I thought he did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, man, you gotta
give credit to Joshua.
You gotta give credit to him because you gotta stick to your game plan. You can't go out with your game plan. Like I said, if you look at the fight, when he was engaging, which wasn't his game plan, when he was engaging, it was not looking so good. It was not looking good. Ruiz was able to land some clean flush shots. Ruiz was that uppercut that Ruiz landed, that stumbled Joshua a little bit. He was able to get in some shots when he was engaging, but when he stepped away and he was using his reach and he was working that jab and he was using it to his advantage, it was working out. And it was frustrating Ruiz. I think that really frustrated Ruiz. I think Ruiz is not used to that type of fight. That's why Ruiz is like at the last seconds he said, "Come on, see me in the middle of the ring." Ruiz is not. Ruiz isn't used to that type of technical fight where I gotta stand in the middle of the ring. I gotta somebody.
He wants that. He wants to exchange punches with you. Everybody seems like it's fell for that shit. I mean, I don't want to call it bullshit, but it seems like everybody's kind of falling into that trap
because they see him and they like, oh,
correct.
He's a sloppy
correct.
sucker.
And I got more reach. If he wants to exchange punches, I'm gonna knock him the fuck out. Whoa. He's skilled.
And you can look at it and you can see Ruiz, and everybody said it. Like you said, everybody said it was a boring fight. Also, everyone said, how can Ruiz come into that fight weighing 284? Like that's so disrespectful.
That was crazy too.
I think that's crazy too, and I think that shows that you really weren't concerned with this fight. Like it's like you weren't concerned.
He
with
pulled
it
a Buster Douglas, man.
So that's not good. That's like.
At least Buster Douglas got knocked out 3rd round versus Holyfield though. So at least he did not. I mean, he was game. He put up a good fight, but Joshua clearly he kind of took him to school. Like, he did what he was supposed to do. I loved it because I feel like Joshua's grown as a fighter so much. I think that's a great thing. Like, I think it will really help him in the future. I don't think he'll beat Deontay Wilder, but I think he could give Tyson Fury a good fight, though. I think it would be, I think he's tough, man. I think Joshua is tough. He's in the top 3, with his size, his weight, his reach, his skills. Joshua's a good fighter. If he follows a game plan, if he doesn't say, I'm going to go out here and knock the guy out, which I felt like after he got that first knockdown against Ruiz in the 3rd round of the first fight, it was like a switch clicked on Ruiz's head. Like, all right, we game. Like, Joshua thought he was going to go in for the kill, and then he got concussed and he got dropped, and everything just went south from there. If he just followed a game plan and said, I don't need the knockout, like everybody expects me or says I gotta knock him out. No. I just gotta win the fight. I gotta do what I'm supposed to do. I gotta win round after round after round. He executed the game plan, the strategy brilliantly. It was perfect. It was great. Man, I loved it. So I thought it was a great fight, man. It was a great boxing match, and Anthony Joshua is the heavyweight champion of the world again. So He's probably gonna fight Usyk next, or he could fight the dude Kubrat Pulev. We'll see what happens, and everything like that. So, like you said, we were talking about you. We already said it. You don't think Usyk could beat Joshua, and I don't think Pulev could beat him either. So Joshua probably gets through that. His next test, whoever. Wilder has to get through Tyson Fury, and we talked about it a little bit. Like I said, I think Wilder's the best in the world, man. I mean, even with Joshua's
Well, this is how they had it on the zone. This is how they had it ranked. They had Wilder at number 1, Tyson Fury number 2. They had Ruiz number 3. They had AJ number 4. I believe Usyk was at number 8. No, I believe Usyk was like number 8 or something like that. And I know Dylan White, because they were showing it because Dylan White was, no, Usyk was number 7, Dylan White was number 8. Because they were showing it because of Dylan White.
Dylan White sucked today,
and
too.
Dylan White was a little sloppy today too. So that
But
shows
came
you
in so fat. Like,
that shows you like these guys are I don't know, the division, the top half division is just too good. Like the rest, because the bottom half, can you really see the bottom half of the division competing against the top half? Besides Luis Ortiz, Joseph Parker, and maybe and Dylan White, can you see that? And Jarrell Miller.
Yeah,
Jarrell Miller. Can you see besides them? Can you see anybody else outside those guys taking over to
Govic and
seeing those guys taking up, and taking over.
But yeah,
seeing those guys fighting the top half of the top and a half of the division. I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue tied. You can't see anybody else besides them fighting the top half of the division because you really don't.
Or connect.
Yeah, you can't really see him. Like you really can't see him. You know what I'm saying? Like Otto Wallen showed his skill. He was able to compete against Tyson Fury, which he put up a good fight against Tyson Fury. He was able to cut Tyson Fury open if he was, and you saw that, and he was able to flush Tyson Fury. You saw Schwartz got dominated, and he got ramsacked versus Tyson Fury.
Them guys can't,
and those guys can't be the top heavy guys. So you never know. You can't really, but it's also the heavyweight division. One punch can call it, but you never know what's going to happen. But as of right now, those guys can't be the top half. So
the top 3 for
the top 3 are just that's how it is. You got Wilder, Fury, and Joshua. So
I put AJ number 2.
And Joshua is number 2 right now because he got his belts back.
He got the job done.
And hopefully he's number 3 so we can really see. And let's see if Ruiz gets really fit and gets really down to it and he gets back into it. But I don't think it's going to be a 3 because Ruiz just squandered his opportunity to solidify a legacy.
He was 284 at the weigh-in.
That's just really disappointing. That's like
you really just ate. You were 16 pounds heavier.
You ate your way out of a championship. Like that's not good.
He has the skills to do it.
That's not good. And I was thinking, when I was thinking about it, when everybody was talking about it, I was saying like, man, maybe this would be good for him because the heavier he is, maybe that will.
The harder he'll punch.
Yeah, and he has that speed, but nah, it wasn't good. I don't think that really worked out for him when it came to the way Anthony Joshua's game plan was to work him, to make him, to drag him out. That's what they did to drag him out. I don't think that.
They saw that weight and they said, "Oh, bad. It's going to happen just as we wanted," and it did. It fucking did.
Yeah, it did.
Hey, man, like I said, I think Wilder's number 1, but before we think about anything else, though, Wilder has to get past Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury is a bad boy. Like I said, in my opinion, he's number 3. Like right now, after today's performance, I'd say Wilder 1, Joshua 2, Fury 3. You know what I'm saying? However the rest of them fall, that's how it goes. But Wilder has to get past Fury, and that's a big test. And hopefully he can do it. It's gonna be tough, but I think he knocks Fury out. So I'm hoping. I can't wait till February 22nd, and we'll see how she all shakes out. That's the good thing about boxing is it's year round. Boxing doesn't have a particular season or a particular time of the year. No, boxing is 24/7 from January to December. You know what I'm saying? It's around in the spring and the summertime and when it's cold and all that good shit. So anyway, we got some good shit coming up. But I spoke about it a little bit. But what do you think about that Dillian White joint though? Like I thought Dillian White just looked. I don't know. I mean, I know he's fighting a bum, Maurice Watch, and he pulled that joint out, but
he just looks a little bit sloppy. I mean, but Dillian White, he put up a good fight too, but still, like, I watched the fight and I watched the whole fight. I just think that he looked a little sloppy.
I came in.
He got tired. He got tired after a while. He got tired. after the 5th round, that's when he got gassed.
You see that belly on him though? Like, God
they
damn,
both got gassed though. They both are really gassed.
Well, the other dude's 39 years old now.
And so I think that Dillian White needs to work. I think he needs to get back into shape because, like I said, if you look at the icon up when they were showing like the icon of him for the fight, he looked nice, like a Adonis. But when you look at him in the ring, he didn't look like himself. So maybe that's because that 6 months off that he took. Maybe that's what.
And they said he only took the fight on 3 weeks.
I know. And I said, but they say he was training. But that's another thing.
What they say.
I think that what they say is, but so maybe he wasn't training that 6 months. Maybe that 6 months of time he took off. Maybe that's what it was. Hopefully he comes back because I like Dillian White. I liked a little bit what I saw, but also didn't like because I didn't like that he was getting gas. So I didn't like that. But I also got to take into account that he took 6 months off. So hopefully he comes back because I want to see Dillian White. I want to see the heavyweight division flourish, and I hope Dillian White is able to accumulate some more wins against some more notable opponents. I would love to see him fight Luis Ortiz. Maybe that's down the road. Maybe that's down the line. Maybe he can fight Jarrell Miller. Maybe that's down the line. I'd love to see some guys mix it up. Maybe Derek Charosa. Maybe they can get. Maybe he can get in the mix with some of these guys in the heavyweight division. I would love to see him fight some guys.
They said him and Usyk might
because
fight.
Because I think he's a good opponent too, and I think he can mix some things up. I think he's a great boxer.
He's a little on the older side.
I understand, but I still think that he's a great boxer. Though I still think that at 35, he's a great boxer. He's a good opponent. I think that he can take some guys out. So I want to see some things in the heavyweight division. I want to see that. I want to see some mixing up in there.
Yeah, nah, I definitely feels you. And like I just said, the Usyk. I was hearing there's a rumor that Usyk might fight Clarissa. So we'll see how she all shakes out, man. The heavyweight division is popping. A lot of shit going down. So always, continue to stay tuned for the heavyweight division. But Anthony Josh was the champion. I know other people got belts and this, that, and third, but Josh was it, man. He got the majority of the main belt. So in my opinion,
it's crazy.
Heavyweight champion of the world. Like
during a Dillian White fight, he came out with a belt too, a WBC belt. I don't know what the fuck that was. So I don't know. Maybe it was I don't know. He came out with a WBC belt. This kind of threw me off a little bit.
I don't know what that shit was about.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna fact check while we going through the show.
It all sounds right. Hey man, I might order one of them belts, the WBC joint. I want to get one of them joints. You know what I'm saying? Even though, like, shit, I was playing Fight Night today online for the first time, Fight Night champion. I got my shit busted. I gotta get better at this shit. I'm good, like, on GOAT mode, but I gotta get better at, like, playing online, get used to playing against some motherfuckers. But, the next thing I was gonna ask about the other fight, man. What'd you think about Charlo fighting Hogan? Wasn't it Dennis Hogan or something like that? I forgot his first name. But you see, that's how bad he just got his shit knocked the fuck out. What'd you think about Charlo Hogan? You think Hogan looked a little game?
Hogan didn't need to be in the ring with Charlo. I'm just being honest, and I think that Charlo. One of our friends, Ted, said this, and he said Charlo fights bums. I agree with him 100%. His last fight when he fought, I think he fought Kobov or something like that. Kobov. I can't pronounce his name. I'm sorry. That was his last real fight. I think that that was just like the fight that we just saw tonight. I think that was just it didn't, no, man. I mean, I understand, but at the same time, Hogan didn't deserve to be in that ring with him. Charlo was clearly the better fighter. Charlo was clearly the more skilled fighter in the ring. Charlo was clear the more faster, the more stronger fighter in the ring. It's just that that Hogan tried to put up a good fight, and he had blemishes of maybe he can put some things together. But after I saw him and the way he was punching, the way he was throwing his punches, and the way he wasn't protecting himself when he was throwing his punches, and where he was just throwing that overhand right. It was like, man, he's just out there just trying to swing for the fences, and that was it. And I think that, Jamal Charlo he just did his thing. It was just sad.
I feel that. But the only thing is, and I think on the last show we got it mistaken because, if I'm not mistaken, we said that, or I mentioned it that Charlo had knocked the guy out in the second round. I think his last fight actually went 12 rounds. Like I get him and his twin brother confused, but I think in some ways, even though he's fighting Hogan, it was kind of a statement win.
All right, hold on, wait, time out. So Dylan White, that belt that I was saying that he came out with the WCB belt, it was the WBC interim heavyweight title. So he won that in July 2019. All right.
July. Wasn't this?
I know.
Oh, when he beat Ruiz. Oh, okay.
Yeah, all right, that's so
interim title, my ass.
Yeah, my ass.
See, and that's why we need to start. But man, I don't want to put too much of plans out. But hey, one of the dreams. I don't know. I want to be an NFL GM one day. I want to have like a sanctioning body and shit. I want to have my own belt. Like we'd be one of the big belts. Like. And we'd be official with that shit. Like, I hate all the bullshit.
Like, we in sidetrack, but that's what we want to do.
Wouldn't that shit be so dope?
We want to solidify some.
Oh, this other bullshit. Like, man, it seems like the WBO is like the only like halfway legit belt in boxing, and like the other Jones be flugazy, and it's like y'all got so much history. Like other than the IBF, it's like the WBA and the WBC have so much history. Why y'all be on some flugazy shit, bro? Like. Why can't we just be legit out here? Like, why do we have different champions and why all this mandatory shit? Like, bruh, get y'all shit together. One champion, like, per weight class. And cut the weight classes, too. There's way too many of them joints. Like, let's combine some of these motherfuckers. Like, but, anyway, got a little sidetracked and shit. Yeah, man, that shit was popping. So it was a good day of boxing. We was actually watching the UFC match too. I don't even know who the guys were.
It was Alistair Overeem and some other guy. I forgot. But
he's an African dude. Hey,
Alistair Overeem got rocked
in the last 10 seconds of the fight. That shit was crazy because he hit him with a jab, and then he hit him with the meanest right hook with the small gloves and shit, bro. He was whole shit.
That comes to show you too, son. Like that's why UFC is like the same thing as boxing. UFC heavyweight division. No matter where you fight heavyweight division, don't hold your breath and don't blink because you never know what's gonna happen. The last 10 seconds. He was able to knock him out, and he split his shit. Like he split his shit. He literally split his shit open. So like and then he was up. When he got up, he was stumbling too. So he was out. He was done. He
couldn't even blame the ref. You can't even be mad. It's like seems crazy. It's like, bro, how you gonna stop the fight with 5 seconds to go because your shit just got rocked? Like your shit just was busted open. Like yeah, absolutely. So. Man, excuse me, but that shit was crazy. That motherfucking right hook was mean as shit. That's probably the best right hook I seen all motherfucking night. Hey, that shit was tough. One of the things I want to say though, when we got the last couple minutes of the show, last 7 minutes, seems like shit was fucking.
Let's freestyle this, right? We gonna give y'all a good show for Saturday, unfiltered. We might go. I mean, we're gonna try to keep it to 30 minutes, but we got to go over.
It's cool.
We're gonna do that shit.
Yeah, definitely. If we get 36, 40 minutes. But hey, the last couple minutes of the show, I did want to say, I want to talk about a couple fights that I would love to see. I'm not saying that they're going to happen or anything, but fights that I would really love to see. I would love to see Canelo fight Charlo. Like, being in jail, I just want to bring it up because Charlo fought tonight. I would love to see that. Like,
see, that's one thing I understand, but I would love to see Charlo fight somebody in between, and I would love to see, before we even talk about Charlo fighting Canelo, I would like to see
Canelo fight Andrade
because Andrade deserves
he got
that
unfinished
fight.
business. Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
he deserves that fight with Canelo. But
and Caleb Smith doesn't deserve that joint after the Ryder fight.
no, so I would like to see maybe Billy Joe Saunders, maybe Caleb Smith, maybe
or Billy Joe Saunders could fight
that's what I'm saying. Maybe Billy Joe Saunders and maybe Caleb Smith can fight Charlo, but right now I would like to see Andrade fight Canelo.
Caleb Smith has to fight somebody else. Like
because
he can fight Billy Joe Saunders.
Andrade's been waiting the longest to fight Canelo, and we all know that after Andrade won his last fight, he was waiting for that joint. So now you got Andrade ready to fight him, and Canelo fought in between, and he didn't even fight in the division. He fought outside. The division.
Exactly.
And Triple G, I understand Triple G won his last fight. They talking about Triple G and Canelo again, but I don't want to see that either. Now Charlo could go get the big money, and he can go fight Triple G.
That would be entertaining.
Now he can do that. Now I would think that would be entertaining as well too, because that means Charlo, that's his first real test, and that's a really real test. And that
even the older Triple G, it would be definitely a great fight.
Yes, it would be a great fight. So I think that maybe that, but it's somebody else in his name. I'm thinking of him, but I can't get his name out. Damn, in the middleweight division, I can't get his name out.
Where's he from? Is he American? Is he?
I'm trying to think. It's not Caleb Smith. It's not Billy Joe Saunders.
Benavidez, Gilberto Ramirez.
Not Gilberto Ramirez.
Danny Jacobs.
Yeah, it's not Danny Jacobs. Dang man, shit. God dang, I was just thinking about it because I was just thinking about him and I was like, man, who is this kid? I was thinking about his name and I was thinking about him. I'm so sorry, y'all. I was thinking about it because I really would like to see Charlo fight him because I think that he would be a great matchup for Charlo. Like, and because I always talk about, because my favorite division is the welterweight division right now because the welterweight division has a lot of things going on. It's popping. And I like the lightweight division too. It's popping. But at the same time, like the middleweight division, it has a lot of good things.
I feel like it's probably like one of
the most widest open divisions that you got because a lot of things is going on in that division.
Like the whole top 15 is like
a lot of things. Like for real, it is like that for real, son. Like for real, a lot of shit. Like you right, like it is y'all like that for real. Like it's really like that for real. Like a lot of guys are out there, but I forgot his name. But I want to see Charlo. Besides that, I want to see Charlo fight somebody with some importance. I want to see him fight somebody that's popular with the fans, that has a name out there.
Could be a big fight.
I want to see somebody that actually has some talent and some big fight experience. And I want to see him actually fight somebody that's going to give him some trouble, because that's when we can see the real Charlo. Now Jamal is a good fighter. I'm not gonna lie, Jamal is a great fighter. Out of the two Charlo twins, Jamal and Jamil, Jamal is the best. Is the better one. I believe Jamal is the better Charlo.
Yeah.
He's more skilled than Jamil. I believe that Jamil has that intensity, but he doesn't have that trigger that Jamal has, that Jamal can turn that trigger on. We did not see Jamal turn that trigger on in this fight. I didn't see that like I saw in the last fight. I understand, but I didn't see that.
He KO'd him.
But I didn't see his trigger that I saw in his last fight that I saw. So I didn't see that trigger tonight. So I want to see that trigger on a more constant basis from Jamal. And when he's stepping up with more fighters, I want to see him do that. Because stepping up in these fights, he's going to be fighting people that know how to get in there. Like I would love to see him fight a Billy Joe Saunders or a Caleb Smith or Danny Jacobs, maybe even a Julian Williams.
Jared Hurd.
And I know they've been calling out Jared Hurd. And that's who it was. God damn. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, everybody. Jared Hurd. I want to see him fight Jared Hurd. I really want to see that fight. I think that Jared Hurd has all the intangibles and all the right fixings to make that a good fight.
Right.
But he has to get his head right. He has to get in their mindset. He has to get into their mindset that this is a fight. This is a fight that I am in. This is a championship fight. This is a fight that I'm going into. I need to fight. I can't take the first 3 rounds to build myself up. I need to be already built up in round 1. I need to be fighting starting from round 1. And if Jared Hurd can do that, I think that he can beat Jamar Charlo. But as of right now, I think Jamar Charlo has that mental game on Jared Hurd. I think Jared Hurd isn't mentally right now. But once Jared Hurd get his mind right, I think Jared Hurd is the most dangerous.
He needs to take a tune.
I think he's the youngest, the dangerous, the most. And he's the most youngest dangerous fighter when he has his mind right in the middleweight division because I like Julian Williams, but I like Jared Hurd better. I
think Hurd's more skilled. He got to execute his mind right. Yeah, do what he's supposed to do.
His mind right.
Hey, the other thing I wanted to say is, and I said the last show, I'd love to see Usyk fight Beterbiev if they ever could have made that happen at like 190, hypothetically. But the other one I would love to see at welterweight, and hopefully Errol Spence gets all right. Other than Spence Crawford, and I actually think Spence will win. That's just my opinion. I'd love to see it happen though. I want to see Spence fight Ugas, bro. I think that'd be so dope.
Ugas deserves
to
fight Spence. Ugas beat Sean Porter.
Yeah.
Because that should have been Ugas versus Spence.
Then he won his last fight like 5th round, bro. Ugas, it's his time, bro. I feel like he's like the Beterbiev of the welterweight division.
Yeah,
like,
Ugas is a good fighter. I think Ugas
it'd be a great fight if Sean Porter gave Errol Spence a fight. I mean, I think Ugas would probably give him a fight too. Like, I'd love to see it happen. I think Spence would win, but I think it would be a really good fight and everything.
I think it would be a good fight too, though.
And in the heavyweights, obviously, Wilder Joshua. We're going to see Wilder Fury too.
See, that's the thing. I don't think we're going to get Wilder Joshua in no time soon.
I think 2021.
I don't think 2021. This is what I want to say. Well, I don't think 2021. Here's a scenario. Now, the WBO, Joshua has it. Mandatory is Usyk. Usyk is going to get that mandatory. The IBF also has a mandatory, so he's going to drop the IBF. He has to.
Yeah.
He's going to. That's already plain as day. So that means the IBF is going to be vacant.
Yes.
That means that Wilder is going to have. I'm going to tell you how it's going to happen. I know they're going to. No, listen, he is. They're going to say, let's get Wilder.
Or the winner of Fury Wilder, too, will fight for the IBF title. Yeah.
They're going to say that winner's going to fight for the IBF title. So that means that I think it's going to be Wilder. Well, I'm not going to say who I predict who's going to win.
Can't look past it, but
we can't look past it. We never know who's going to win it. So let's say it's Wilder. Wilder wins that joint. So
he's going to get an IBF.
He has a WBA and a IBF joint. So that means
the WBC. Doesn't he have the WBC?
No, he has the WBA, I believe.
One of the WB jokes.
No, he has the WBA, I believe.
Okay. No. Whatever. We'll just say use that for argument's sake. We'll say the WBA. So, and then he'll get the IBF joint.
So so he'll get that joint. So that means that he has that shit. So once
he has two of the
no, you're right. He has WBC. So it's WBC. So
and then he'll get the IBF.
So IBF. So WBC and the IBF. So that means that he has 2 to 4 majors. That means that Joshua has the WBO, the IBO, and the WBA. And the BA. So that means he has the WBO.
The IBO doesn't
but
really
still,
count.
It doesn't matter. But he has that's the heavyweight titles that he has. That's the undisputed champion.
Okay, I got you.
So he has the IBO, the WBO, and the WBA. So that means we have 2 titles. No, one, and you know what's crazy? If Wilder is to beat Tyson Fury, he is the lineal heavyweight champion.
That's the prize. That's
the one thing that he can say is like, you know what? All right,
I want that prize.
That's what I'm the lineal heavyweight champion. So that means I'm the lineal heavyweight champion. So that means I'm the champ. Like, I'm the real champ. So that means Joshua's legacy is going to be like, all right, you got those 3 belts, but
you ain't the lineal
champ, though. So now Wilder can say that it's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen until 2022 because that's going to you got to take an effect that Joshua has the WBO, WBA, the IBF, and the IBO title. The IBF is going to drop, and you know what's crazy? The IBO hasn't been defended for real like that. So the IBO. All them titles have been defended as of today. They've been defended. As of yesterday, they were defended when they went against Joshua. But if you think about it, the IBO hasn't had a mandatory yet. What if the IBO has a mandatory? So that means that he can't defend that belt either. So now we got 2 belts that he's losing and he only has 2 belts left.
I don't think the IBO would do that though because
I don't think they would either. But I don't think they would.
You can be a unified champion.
I understand that. I understand that. But I understand that. I understand that. I don't think they would either. But I'm just saying, just have that. I'm just thinking. That's what I'm just saying though. I'm just thinking about that shit.
Yeah. No,
but fuck that. But fuck the IBO. I know he's gonna have that shit. He's gonna have the IBO, the WBO, and the WA. But the IBF is one of them joints, the Big Four. The IBF is part of the Big Four. I think that he's dropping that joint. He's going to defend the WBO versus Houston.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to happen, man. And that's just the craziest thing. Like, I don't like that. That's the craziest thing.
And if Wilder beats Fury, though, he gets a lineal joint. And so then Josh was going to want the lineal. You know what I'm saying?
There's no choices. He's going to have no choice. He's going to have to go for it.
We'll see what happens, man. I cannot wait. So that's what I want to see. I want to see Wilder Joshua. Wilder's already fighting Fury. And he, like I said, this is a legacy fight for Wilder. Like, he has to beat Fury. He has to beat him. And I think he will. And then whenever Joshua comes up, I think he'll beat him. The only thing is, I kind of feel like, and I've told this to you before, I kind of feel like they're waiting Wilder out. Because the thing is, Wilder is the oldest among the big heavyweights. And it's let's not fight him when he's 34. Let's wait till he's 36.
Let's not fight him at all.
I feel like they want to see, and Wilder will be 35 next October of 2020. I feel like that's what they're trying to do. Like, I feel like the big guys it's like a plan. Like, man, if we could just get Wilder past 35, like we might have a better chance again because they're scared. They're scared, bro. That right hand is too devastating. He's too athletic. He has too much reach, and his right hand is just too devastating.
I agree with you. I don't think they want to fight him at all, though. I don't think they want to fight Wilder at all. I think that Wilder is just the perfect mismatch for them, and I think that Wilder.
And he's not unbeatable. He's just. Why have to go through that? And I give Fury a lot of pride, even though I think Fury ran. Fury got knocked down and got up by the grace of God, and he fucking ran as far as he could until he couldn't run no more. But I give Fury credit. I mean, at least he's fighting for the second time. But yeah, it's gonna be a big fight. I cannot wait till February 22nd. So Josh was the champ right now, in my opinion, in my book, and Wilder's coming. You know what I'm saying? Joshua, we coming for you. So, anyway, man. So that's it. Did you have anything else you wanted to say? We close the show up.
College football or anything about that?
I mean, the championship games just went down. I knew that Oregon was going to beat Utah, man. Yeah. Oklahoma's about to be in the midst. You know what I'm saying? And what else? LSU beat the shit out of Georgia. What else was popping? What other games? I know LSU beat Georgia.
Yeah, LSU beat Georgia.
Ohio State. They came back against Wisconsin.
Yeah, Ohio State came back against Wisconsin. Justin Fields did his thing. Jake Burrow.
Joe Burrow at LSU. He was balling out.
Joe Burrow did his thing with LSU. I don't really like Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is a fluke. But
having one good season.
I think he's a fluke, but I think I can maintain his Oklahoma. But you know that thing, man. We do our thing for the Saturday show. We just try to make sure everybody gets to the main event. So anything the fights that's going on right now, and it's going on just the type fights that's going on the weekend, because we try to keep up with them and all that stuff.
And so, hey, it was the heavyweight championship. We had to do the show today. We had to do the show today.
So yeah, y'all know. Just remember to like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell at the top.
And watch some football games on Sunday.
Watch some football games on Sunday. We'll be back with y'all on Wednesday, man.
Yes, we will. All right, baby. We be back, man.
J&J Boxing, we out, man.